Alright, so I got asked to make this video a while back. I said it was in the works, then kind of got put on hold, kind of had the whole virus situation come out, whole TV remote situation come out, if you guys get that joke. If you don't, go over to Strong Opinion Sports, love this channel, of course. But, back on topic now. I did my NFL standings predictions last week, so now it's time for my NCAA college standings predictions. I didn't really go through every game like I did with the NFL for this, but I did go through what I really think each team's record is going to be. So starting out with the ACC, in first place, I have the Clemson Tigers going undefeated, of course, 12-0. Big shocker there. Clemson kind of just overpowers that whole conference. They're just the best team there. They'll probably have one scare game and be fine with all the rest. At number 2, we have the De'Aaron King-led Miami Hurricanes at 11-1. They finally found a quarterback. I think he will help them take them to the next level and help them finally win games that they can win with the talent they have, just haven't had the quarterback to do it. Then at number 3, we have North Carolina, led by Sam Howell, of course, with a 10-2 record. I think this is just a good prediction for them. They might lose one more. Maybe they win one more. Who knows? But I think this is just probably around what they will end up being. Then fourth place, we have Duke at 9-3. Duke's usually, some reason, one of the better ACC teams there, and I think nothing's really changed from that, and I just like what they're doing. Also, this is kind of more depending on, I think Chase Bryce I think he's transferred, like, he's able to start right away, and I think he's a good enough quarterback to be able to win 9 games with Duke. And then, moving on, in fifth place, I have Louisville at 9-3. I kind of like their quarterback situation that they have. I think Jawan Pass will be the starter. Then you have Javion Hawkins back there, too. I just think Louisville has a good enough team. They're going to win in the ACC, and that's where most of their wins are probably going to come from. But also, it doesn't mean they're particularly the greatest team, but Louisville is a good enough team to be on at 9-3. Then number 6, we have Virginia Tech at 8-4. They usually just finish around this mark anyways. Somehow make the top 25, even if they aren't best top 25 team, but usually they're just around here. Number 7, we have Florida State. Florida State. They've been on the downfall basically recently, ever since Jimbo Fisher left them. Then 8, we have North Carolina State. I think North Carolina State's going to take that step up this year compared to what they were last year, but we're just going to have to wait and see. And then Boston College at 7-5 at number 9. Then Pittsburgh at 10 at 6-6. Then at 11, we have Virginia at 5-7. I just don't really like what Virginia's really done. They haven't really gotten better anywhere, so they kind of fall for me. Then at number 12, we have the 5-7 Syracuse Orange. I think they'll be better than last year. I don't see much. The only good player I see on their team really is Andre Cisco. I think they also have another player, but I haven't gotten too deep into that yet. Then at number 13, we have Wake Forest at 4-8. I just don't think they're going to be that good. And same with Georgia Tech, who I have at 3-9 in last place for the division. And then moving on, we have the Big Ten. I have Ohio State actually going undefeated, finishing 12-0, and they're going to be first in that conference, of course. Then coming up, we have 2, 3, and 4 all have the same records, so we can really, I don't know like which team's going to finish in front of the other, but I have Minnesota at number 2 going 10-2, which means they'll play Ohio State in the Big Ten championship game more than likely, which I think is in the right direction, and I think that's probably where they will finish, just because Taron Morgan's developed. You have Rashad Bateman on the outside. This whole team's just getting better as a whole, with PJ Fleck just rolling the boat through everybody. Then we have Wisconsin at 10-2, third in the conference. Wisconsin always somehow just finds a way to stay in it. Usually, this might be more of a downfall year though. They might go 8-4, but right now I have them going 10-2. Then we have Penn State at 10-2, fourth in the conference. My only problem with Penn State is their quarterback. I don't think he's really got it. Unless he takes a big step up from previous year, I just don't think he has it really. Then Michigan is in 5th place at 9-3. This is about where they finish every year, and I don't see really much anything changing. Defense is pretty good still. Their offensive line kind of, most of them left. And then they have a new quarterback. Thank God, because Shea Patterson was not the answer there. But I think this team will always just be decent 93 material. Then at number 6, we have Nebraska at 8-4. I think this might be the year Nebraska finally maybe reaches somewhat of their potential with Adrian Martinez at quarterback. They've been bringing in good recruits every year. It's just they've never been able to put it together. So maybe this is the year. And then Iowa, I have complete downfall at 7-5 at number 7 in the standings. Nate Stanley left them. I don't know if they'll be this bad, but just look at how some teams really got better, more experience at quarterback, and then you have a new guy coming in. It's hard to predict like them being good, especially when they're not the most hyped up team and you just had 2 of your best players leave. And then at number 8, I have the Indiana Hoosiers at 6-6. I think Indiana has gotten better though. You have Whoop Fillier, I think is how you pronounce it. It's a hard name to pronounce. But then you also have their quarterback, Michael Penix Jr. He's only getting better. This team, always good, decent offensive line. They always have a decent offensive line, a decent running game, or sometimes a pretty good running game. So I think 6-6 is about where they'll finish again. Then at number 9, we have Purdue. They're enemies right by them, right behind them. Means they probably lost the IU Purdue game, which is really the only game that matters at IU. So that's all I gotta say. Rondell Moore, I would not be surprised if they take the next step with him, just because Moore's just a next tier speedy player that is a lot better than what KJ Hamler was, more like compared to Henry Ruggs like. And then at number 10, we have Michigan State going 5-7. Michigan State's taken big downfall for quite a while. And it's kind of sad to see. They used to be one of Notre Dame's best rivals, but now they're just not there anymore. And I have Northwestern at 5-7 at number 11. Their quarterback, Hunter Johnson, I think is going to take some leaps and become a better quarterback, but I don't think it's going to be enough to really put this team to the bowl game. Then at number 12, we have Illinois. A big downfall after last year, going 4-8. But, hey, what can I say? It's a tough conference in the Big Ten. Then Maryland have going 4-8, and they're going to be at number 13. Just not a very good team at all. So, nothing really much to say there. Then Rutgers, I have going 1-11 at number 14. I do think this team is going to get better since they just added a different head coach. But it's still Rutgers, so can't really do much with them. Bad powerhouses, offenses in the Big 12. Starting out with Oklahoma at number 1, of course, going 11-1. Spencer Rattler won't miss a beat, I don't think. Maybe he does. Maybe he does in the Texas game, and that causes them to go second place to first place. But it's still Oklahoma. Their team's damn good, so can't really count them out on anything. Next, we have Texas at 11-1 at number 2. I think Texas might really take this division. They're going to play Oklahoma in the Big 12 Championship, and that's really who's probably going to get in the college football playoff. And I would not be surprised to see Texas take that and actually make the college football playoff over Oklahoma. So don't be surprised when it actually happens. With Sam Elger at quarterback, kind of their last hoorah into possibility making college football playoff. This is just one last ride for the Texas Longhorns right here until they get their next QB. And then next we have Iowa State at number 3, going 9-3. Brock Purdy's a good quarterback. He'll at least win 9 games for them. So that's that. Then Oklahoma State, I have them being number 4 at 9-3 as well. Spencer Sanders is a good enough quarterback like Brock Purdy, just to go 9-3. Then TCU, I have going number 5 at 6-6. Yeah, usually Big 12 just has a big drop off. You have those teams, and then it's just these teams. I know last year kind of weird, but this year I imagine it goes back to this. But TCU going 6-6, you just got one of the best running backs in the nation, so don't be surprised. They're also pretty good developing talent into the NFL. Got Jalen Reagor, for example. So that's that. And then number 7, we have Kansas State going 6-6. Baylor, I have falling down big time, going 5-7 and number 8 in the conference. I just think Matt Rhule is a big reason why this team did as well as it did. And you're going to see that with Carolina Panthers as well. But I just don't see it anymore with this team. And then Kansas, I have Puka carrying them to the 4-8 record at number 9. Puka Williams, he's something else. I'll get into him in a different video. But starting out, number 10, we have Texas Tech going 3-9. That takes us to the Pac-12, where I don't see anyone really making the college football playoff from this conference. Once again, as I have Oregon going 10-2, they're going to finish first in conference, but they're going 10-2. It's just tough to see them doing well, really. I got to be honest. Especially making the college football playoff. It's not Justin Herbert at quarterback. Herbert was a better quarterback, but you don't really need that good quarterback, luckily, with Oregon, since they do have all their defensive talent on that team. So maybe they do somehow make college football playoff, but would not be surprised to see them miss it. Next, we have USC at number 2, going 9-3. This makes basically just Keaton Slovis being a good quarterback and carrying them to this record. Next, we have Utah at number 3, going 9-3. I don't really know what to expect from Utah this year, but they always seem to be decent, so I just put them here. Next, at number 4, we have Washington going 8-4. I was kind of surprised that they went 7-5 last year with Jacob Eason. I think that was more just Jacob Eason was trying to learn the offense still during the first half of the year, so he wasn't doing as well, and then came back to the second half of the year and was doing a lot better. But their head coach just resigned. He left Boise State and did the same thing. They're still on the same course, really. Maybe Washington does take a down hit first year, but then they grow themselves back up. But it's going to be interesting seeing how they do. And then Arizona State have number 5, going 8-4. Jaden Daniels just had a real impressive rookie season for me, and I think he'll be good enough to carry them to the 8-4 record. Next, we have UCLA at 7-5, going number 6 in the conference. I think Dorian Thompson-Robinson will be good enough in Chip Kelly's offense there to carry them to that record. Then I have Stanford at number 7, going 7-5. Stanford's kind of fallen off. They used to be a top 25 team consistently. Now they're kind of not. They need someone to go in there and reboot that program. Hopefully we see it happen sometime here soon. Then we have Oregon State going 6-6 at number 8 in the conference. I think I'm a little high on them, honestly, but I just want to put them in here for fun. Then we have Cal at number 9, going 4-8. And then also Arizona at number 10, going 3-9. And then Washington State going 3-9 at number 11. Colorado going at number 12, going 2-10. None of these teams are going to be good. That's just flat out the truth on that one. I'm sorry if you're a fan of one of these teams, but I gotta be brutally honest, they're just not going to be good. Then our last and final conference is the SEC. We'll start it off with Georgia being number 1, actually, going 11-1. I just think Georgia's probably the team to beat this year in the SEC, if you're being quite honest with yourself. Zamir White's going to basically replace what DeAndre Swift was doing in that backfield anyways. The offensive line always finds a way to rebound from what they lost the previous year. Their wide receiver talent's only gotten better. And then Jamie Newman comes in and beats the quarterback there. He's used to working with not that good of wide receivers in the first place. So I think Jamie Newman's going to be really a kind of surprise quarterback for people this year too. And that defense, of course, just Georgia's defense, one of the best in the country. And it's that way for a reason. Next, quite surprising, I have Florida at number 2, going 11-1. So Kyle Trask, I think, is good. I don't know if he's this good, but I think their defense is good enough to actually carry them to this. And they got a good enough offense to actually be able to get this. But it's just, I think they're just hitting games at the right point. I just don't know really what to expect from Florida, really. I think they probably more finish 10-2 and 9-3, but we're just going to have to wait and see. Which puts Alabama at 10-2, finishing number 3 in the conference. I know I probably should switch Florida, and Bama's probably going to be a little bit more realistic, but I just don't know about Mac Jones. But then again, they haven't had it's been a while since they haven't had the greatest QB play. Probably Jalen Hurts, arguably. But you're seeing how whole college just transferring a good quarterback play usually means you're winning games. And it kind of translates here too. They have a great team, don't get me wrong. Their defense is probably top 5 in the nation. And other than quarterback, they probably have one of the best offenses in the nation. So this is just a hard team to predict, really. Then at number 4, I have Auburn going 10-2. This is Bo Nix basically carrying them. And Bo Nix, like him or not, he had a decent freshman year for just being thrown in there like true freshman too. He did pretty well. I think if you give him a couple years, he wasn't like Trevor Lawrence, wasn't like Tua Tagovailoa. He didn't just go out and shine, but you could definitely see him working his way to that potential. And I think he probably will be a top 5 pick here in a couple years. And then at number 5, we have Texas A&M going 9-3. I think it's going to be a while until we see Jimbo Fisher actually take over the SEC and start competing with Georgia and Alabama and teams like that. But right now, he's still kind of middle tier, 9-3, 8-4 type level. Then I have LSU going 8-4 at number 6. I think I'm just really hesitant to put them anywhere. Their quarterback's not the greatest. Ton of starters left. Basically, almost every single starter left, except for the players that couldn't. Which just, you have Jamar Chase, and then I don't know anybody else on that team really. So that's just my problem with it. I don't know who the quarterback's really going to be. You have Coach O, but like Joe Brady left. I think he was kind of the mastermind behind that offense. And then he was kind of training Joe Burrow to be the mastermind of his offense, showing off. And Joe Burrow was just the right person for it. And it's just hard to predict LSU doing any better than 8-4. Kind of what they're usually. It's like 8-4, 10-2. I just don't see them being on top of the SEC until they get another star quarterback, maybe. But that might be a while. And that moves us to number 7 in the conference, where I got Tennessee at 8-4. I think Tennessee is going to start getting a little bit better come here soon. They're starting to get good recruiting. They're slowly working their way up there. And I think Tennessee might start being one of the teams competing in the top 6 of the SEC here soon. Then I have Kentucky going 6-6 at number 8. Then South Carolina and Missouri all going 6-6 at 9 and 10. They're all just mediocre teams. They'll make a bowl game more than likely. They're not the greatest teams though. Also, our kicker went to Missouri, probably going to be starting there, so that's going to be fun to watch, at least from my perspective. Then I have Ole Miss at number 11 going 5-7, and then Mississippi State also going 5-7 at number 12. I think Ole Miss is probably going to be a little bit better. I think they're kind of working their way, maybe trying to be one of those 6-6, 7-5 teams in the SEC, which is really good in the SEC, by the way. Probably the toughest conference. It's really debatable between them and the Big Ten. But I know Mississippi State's just not on the same level. Ole Miss, just mediocre, kind of. Then at 13-14, we have Arkansas and Vanderbilt both going 3-9. They're just bad teams, especially in the tough conference. Maybe they do better somewhere else, but in the SEC, it's just tough to do any better. So that's my opinions on each conference and who's going to win and like what record they're going to have. Of course, I'm going to be off. I probably didn't even do it correctly, to be honest. But if you guys agree or disagree with me, tell me why down below. Also, if you think your team should have done better or your team should have done worse, tell me why. I want to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. Of course, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to click those links down there. Instagram, Twitter, Discord, Patreon. Of course, thank you to my sponsor, FNX. Their link is down there below as well. And of course, just make sure to keep the sports week flowing throughout the day.